Hi, my name is Rodrigo. This is Ether, where we teach and elevate the Bible using digital media. And as I film this video, the world has been changed by the coronavirus. We're all working, learning, and operating in ways that we're not used to. We also have plenty of people to worry for. Both my wife and I have older parents, and even though we live in a place that has not had many cases yet, we have family in places that have been greatly affected by this crisis. We also have friends who work in the medical field and friends who have already begun to be affected in a financial way by this crisis. To top it all off, when you hear and read from experts, you certainly get the sense that this is all going to last a lot longer than any of us would like it to. Fear and anxiety are very normal things to feel under these circumstances, which is why one of the best things that we can do is pray. More specifically, pray the way the book of Psalms teaches us to. There may not be a better book in the Bible to help us navigate this time, as the book of Psalms is a snapshot of Israel's life in prayer. See, the Psalms ranged in occasion. Sometimes they were words of celebration for a festival or a coronation. Sometimes they were words of praise for victory over a foe or an illness. Sometimes they were words of fear, pleas for help from a situation that people could not overcome. Sometimes we know that things worked out for the best, like in the case of David, and sometimes we just don't know, like in the case of whatever trouble the authors of Psalm 119 found themselves in. No matter what the occasion, though, the psalmists remained consistent in very specific ways. They were fully expressive, hopeful, and had a very clear idea of the nature of the God to whom they were directing their prayers to. In Psalm 35, David finds himself in a really bad situation and tells God to wake up and do something about it. Even repeating his words makes me feel like I'm going to be struck by lightning. We are not comfortable bringing this type of emotion to God because we feel like he's going to be upset by them. But if we learn anything from the book of Psalms, is that prayer is not a matter of performance, but it's a matter of the heart and the soul. What we also learn from the book of Psalms is to always be hopeful in our prayers. To the psalmist, when times were good, they expected them to remain good, and when times were bad, they expected them to get better. The reason why they were able to do this is because they understood the nature of God. They knew that if they were surrounded by mighty enemies, God was mightier. They knew that if they found themselves being oppressed by unjust man, that God loved justice. They knew that if they were in the pits of despair, a loving and powerful God could rescue them. We should learn from Psalms to pray to God all of our fears and all of our anxieties, and do so filled with hope, knowing that God is greater than the situation we find ourselves in.